Hello, welcome to another episode of the With the English Pod, talking all things basketball. We've been away for a while, took a little Christmas break. In the studio with me today, I got my boy Kane
What up?
and my boy Fabes.
Yes.
As I always like to start, it wasn't a week, so how was your Christmas breaks?
No, my Christmas break was pretty smooth. Spent the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day alone. Had some friends over for Boxing Day, which was nice. Obviously, on the basketball side, it was mixed, but it ended pretty strong. You know, by the time we got to Christmas Day, obviously we got Jalen Brunson did his thing, and then some new acquired personnel, some losses too. But we'll get into that pretty soon. So but it's all around pretty good. All around pretty good, yeah.
Fabes?
Yeah, mine was nice. Spent it with the family. Had a few drinks. Had too much to eat. They made them watch NFL and NBA from like 6 till God knows when. So I had a good time.
Yeah.
They hated me though.
For me, obviously, you guys would know I was ill over Christmas. So I was ill from like the 23rd, 24th, all the way through to like the 30th. But I'm still the chef in my house, so I still had to throw it down.
I mean, let them know.
But it is what it is,
Let 'em
man.
know.
It is what it is. There's only one place we can start on the basketball front, as Kane alluded to. There was a big trade that happened. When was it? Like the 29th, the 28th?
Yeah, I think it was the 29th or the 30th.
It was so
New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's
Was
Eve,
it
innit?
New-
Yeah,
it was
it's
so
New Year's
so random. Like it was like I don't follow Knicks news and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, where the fuck did this trade come from?
Yeah.
So none of
Like-
you saw any links with OG Anunoby?
Nothing at
Nah.
all.
You know what? That's so interesting to me, right? Because you see, all right, so obviously for the audience, they don't know. So obviously we have these conversations in real time in a group chat. And I was surprised when you guys were like, streets are saying the Knicks got fleeced.
Wait, hold on. Before you go on, I think you should tell the audience what the trade actually was.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So for those who don't know, the Knicks have probably made the first big trade of the season, regular season so far.
I don't know
I
if
would say
it's,
so.
I don't know if it's a big trade, but a
Right,
trade.
yeah,
It's
You know what I
a
mean?
trade.
Right, so between the Raptors and the Knicks, the Raptors have received Emmanuel Quickly, point guard more so, but combo guard from the Knicks, but also number 3 pick 2019. Obviously, my boy Star J Broadway Barrett, which is obviously a massive deal, just in a sense of as the guy that was supposed to be the next chosen one for the Knicks. I think with Emmanuel Quickly, that was kind of expected, not necessarily to the Raptors, but because it was an expiring contract and it was up for renewal. But the RJ one, considering with barely a year over his contract renewal, we didn't see that coming. Obviously, in terms of who the Knicks received, you've got let's start from. I'll start from like up, down, up, right? So you've got Flynn, a point guard from Toronto, Precious Achua, power forward center, but I would say he's an undersized center. He stands about 6'8", but obviously monster on the rebounds. Very much like Nas Reed. I wouldn't say he's got his shooting ability, but like that kind of profile. But most importantly, small forward, 6'8", arguably the best wing defender in the league, OG Anunoby.
The best wing defendant, bro.
Arguably.
Please.
Who taking? Wing defender, who taking over OG Anunoby? Wing defender. Don't say Kawhi. Don't say Paul George.
I would say Kawhi personally.
You would say Kawhi in 2024.
Who else are you gonna
Don't
take,
forget,
bro?
Kawhi only started missing games recently, you know.
Kawhi
He's every
and bro and
Even-
Paul George.
Listen, we'll get into it, but there is a case to be made.
Bro,
Actually, number one, what's the
Dylan
last time
Brooks
Paul
might
George
be
took
a-
away? We're gonna get the stats up, right? I
Dylan
wanna see
Brooks
the
might
last
be a
time
better
they-
defender.
Huh?
Dylan Brooks might be a better wing defender than OG Anunoby. But he might be.
I think the difference between Dylan Brooks and OG Anunoby is OG Anunoby doesn't make noise. Dylan Brooks talks.
But he still defends at a very high
No,
clip.
listen, I'm not taking anything away from Dylan Brooks. OG Anunoby has been a premier wing defender for years.
What was you gonna say about Paul George and Kawhi? When was the last time they what?
Made I would like to see what their last All NBA first defense
Okay, fair enough.
selections are, because I know OG's name stays in there.
That's fair.
Do you know what I mean? So
That's fair.
anyway, that's the trade. I'm pretty sure the only other thing that the Knicks gave up was a second round draft pick. But aside from that, that's more or less the trade.
I'm confused. Was Ian Hartenstein part of the trade, or is he
Nah.
still there?
No, he's
Nah,
He's still
you know,
there,
so
okay.
still there.
Okay.
We got him over from I don't know if it was free agency. We got him over from the Clippers,
Okay.
and he's been really good for us.
Oh.
But no, it's been a big deal in a sense of. I think the reason why a lot of people see it as we got fleeced is I don't think a lot of people know what OG Anunoby is really about. Obviously, people know who he is. I don't think he even gets the recognition outside of non-casuals in regards to like what he actually brings to the table. Like he's a pretty good spot shooter. He can defend 1-2-4. Like I said, he's been making all NBA, all defense selections. So he comes in with pedigree. But it's also because we've let go of two guys that were part of our core. One of them is arguably two top three players off the bench in Emmanuel Quickly. I think he only lost out to, was it Derek White last? No, sorry, it was Malcolm Brogdon last year for Sixth Man of the Year. And then RJ Barrett. That's a really frustrating one because off the back of last season's playoffs, including the FIBA World Cup, including the first few games of the season, up until the migraine that obviously had him out for a couple of weeks, he was playing really, really, really well. And then the conversation was, outside of me, you know who I am, we genuinely thought, okay, maybe this is the point we was getting the leap. So when you see those two players, two tradable pieces, two valuable assets, go in one direction and you're only seeing one player of note, that being OG Anunoby, going in the other direction, on top of what I just think is, to be biased, New York, like the bias that like New York Knicks get in terms of how they see our moves, very much like a LA or a Boston, us big market teams, unless our acquisitions are stars or superstars, there's always going to be massive asterisks or question marks.
A lot of scrutiny.
And I think it's, as I've said to you guys, and obviously as it is reported in the media, you see all of this draft capital, you see all of these team-friendly contracts like Jalen Brunson. He's got a player option in 2025. Same thing as Julius Randle. You ask yourself, okay, why are you not getting that superstar?
That's why I think people think you got fleeced for one reason, because with all the draft capital you've got, and you've given up those two players, they're expecting someone of caliber of, say, Donovan Mitchell. That's what people were expecting. So when you go from like a big name, someone that really moves the needle in terms of like scoring and just general excitement around the organization, getting someone like OG Anunoby seems like a bit of a downgrade in that respect. So that's why I thought that people may see it as a downgrade, or have you got fleeced?
I want to ask you this. Obviously, we're all basketball fans here, but you're a Knicks guy. So talk to the mindset of your Knicks front office when they're making that kind of trade.
Okay, so
because like
follow question, but
like everyone can see, as I think we've said in the group, and everyone can see all of the takes that first came out of that trade was like, the Knicks, like, what are you doing? Now we've sat here and talked about the fact that where the Knicks were, there's not really much you can do without destroying your core.
Yeah.
Right? Without completely gutting it to get, and even if you did that, do you really move yourselves that far up the table?
Exactly.
So it's like, what do you think the front office are seeing in getting rid of RJ? You picked him third in 2019?
Yeah, 2019, yeah.
Right? Getting rid of him and bringing in someone like, you weren't great on the wings anyway.
Yeah.
So bringing someone like OG Anunoby is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
But getting rid of RJ to do so, I don't know if that, well, I can't see it as that was the right thing to do. And especially also getting rid of Quickly, who was coming off your bench and igniting your second unit.
Okay. So to that point, I think you have to look at a big picture. So the last time we had like a proper podcast about the Knicks, I think we were all on the consensus is saying there's no immediate move that will bring us to Milwaukee's level, Boston's level, even Philly's level. That's not even thinking about, okay, let's even make it out the East. We've got to deal with over the West. So what can you do in the meantime? And I think there's two things in particular that you do. You continue to fill out your roster, where you either have some really good role players that can be either part of us long term and or be tradable assets or good contracts to obviously get rid of in the future, right? So that's just more about the management of resources. I think the second thing is about making the franchise more attractive to star and superstar talent, right? So that's culture, that's so on and so on and so on. Going back to this specific move and how do you go towards that, what are you looking at? You got Emmanuel Quickly on an expiring contract. Summer just gone, I think what we offered him, he turned down because obviously he can potentially go for more money in the summer. We run the risk of going in the next summer, depending, because you don't know how we're going to do in the postseason. You don't. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson essentially being out for the season, that caps what we can do even in the postseason. If we make out the first round, that'd be amazing, right? So you got to look at that. Okay, Emmanuel Quickly may decide to go somewhere as a starting point guard and be on more money than what Jalen Brunson's on right now, just to speak to the value of current contracts of players that we've kept. Same thing for Julius Randle. So you've got to also look at it. Well, maybe this is the fan in me. There's a part of me that also thinks about, okay, does a front office also want to put a player in a good situation, right? I'm sure there's a lot of franchises that will take Emmanuel quickly, as a starting point guard, but it's just like, who can do it now, but also in a way where we get something back. I think one thing that obviously a non-Knicks fan won't know, typically speaking, when Knicks get linked to a player, it's real, even if it doesn't materialize. So Donovan Mitchell was linked with the Knicks for months before moves are actually being made. And the only reason we didn't actually do that is at the time, we didn't want to train Quentin Grimes, believe it or not. That was actually the thing that made the difference. We're willing to trade RJ even at that point. Jalen Brunson, same thing. We're linked for him for time. I'm trying to think of there's even the names like we'll get onto him now, like DeJounte Murray.
What about Kevin Durant and Kyrie? What being linked with them?
I actually think that was I think that was real, but I think Kyrie was the lead voice.
Yeah. It would have been It would have been Kyrie first, then KD.
Yes,
afterwards.
and then I think Kyrie he's a Nets fan.
I don't think he wanted the noise of Knicks.
That too, like Knicks is
and after coming back from the Celtics.
And I think also like the Knicks, the new front office doesn't have enough tenure for them to be able to convince. To be able to convince stars to be able to, okay, New York is the way we need to go now, right? So I think that's the reason why they got rid of Emmanuel quickly. With RJ, I think it's so nuanced. I think on the court you're looking at fit. I don't know how I feel about this whole three lefties playing together. I don't know how I feel about that. But then when you watch him play, it's different if you've got a guard on top of the wing and he could go either way. Typically speaking, RJ, he's got to start off on the wing. And if I'm a defender, like the on-ball defenders, I know you're going to go left.
You know he's going.
Yeah.
I know you go left. At least with Randall, he's got much better mid-range game and he's actually got the ability to go bully ball. So even if I'm going to go left, I can go past.
I'll go left and still get there.
Typically speaking, what you have to do to stop Randall, it's not a left or right thing. It's, okay, dash, throw the double team, can I force a turnover? Can I just make him do sloppy plays? Obviously, when he's on the attack. But with RJ, it's like, well, we've already got an undersized, even at the point guard, an undersized premier player in Jalen Brunson, right? Where we have to somewhat hide him on defense, like somewhat. You already got Randall where, at the end of the day, you can make the argument that Randall was a top 15 player in the league. He's all NBA. That means, on paper, he's top 15. And his numbers back it up. We'll get into that conversation a whole other day, but...
it's a mad one, because he is all NBA. So he's obviously
and not one time. And not one time.
All NBA, but that's a regular season thing. In the postseason,
yeah.
What's he giving you the postseason?
That's fair. But there's a lot of guys that haven't got no postseason tenure that we are happy to put top 15.
True. We'll get there.
We'll get there. So the point I'm making is like with RJ, to your question, I think one of the reasons that we're willing to let him go, we know that when to let him go a summer ago, is just the fit and the way it looks. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson as the other two, the first and second option, whether it's 1A, 1B, they seem to be the priority. So now it's like, okay, what pieces do we get to complement those? OG Anunoby complements them way better as a starter and as a winger.
No, I hear that.
And I think ultimately speaking, it's all right, well, I've seen it against a few teams where when the opponent's best player is a wing player, we are finished.
What I guess to your point, what I would say is that if RJ is in your team and is your RJ as a player shouldn't be your third option. But the way your team is structured, he was always
the failing of the front office, and I think we've spoken about this a little bit before, is when they drafted RJ, it was kind of at the end of one regime, and then his first season started at the beginning of another. And it's like, okay, I'm sure when they came in, CAA, Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson have already got that relationship with Jalen Brunson. So the moment he breaks through in Dallas and they see what the contract situation is, they're going to be looking at him. Julius Randle's already Julius Randle. He's essentially the captain of the team at that point before Jalen comes in. And I think what really will tell us how good this move really is the follow-up. This is part one, so I think it's a two-part move. And I think what people don't seem to realize is like Toronto and New York are beefing. Like New York are suing Toronto because they feel like, no, actually it's been proven that they stole some sort of playbook or something. So they're suing them for like 10 mil. The fact they were able to hash this out in the middle of actually like a lawsuit. Yeah, like there's a whole thing.
You man are getting sued by a lot of people. I swear.
No, we're suing them.
Okay, but I know the Mavericks are angry at you for the whole how you handled the Jaden Brunson free agency thing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
So I think they feel like you
Yeah,
approached
and-
him too early.
Yeah, and
They
I think
packed him up.
Yeah.
and I think this is also, you know, the business. You know, there's a whole thing with Clutch Sports and CAA. I've said the next move, which again isn't a superstar move, but I believe will be a move that kind of cements us as a top 5 team in the East, is who we get as a guard. Because what you're looking at now is, all right, well, we've lost another shot creator, a player that can defend and lead the second unit in Emmanuel quickly. How do we replace that? We haven't got that shot creation from a guard position as much as we did. Dante DiVincenzo, though, is hooping out of his mind right now, like automatic from free. But you need that kind of shifty, crafty shot creator. Personally speaking, you have that and another guard that can defend alongside Jalen Brunson at the 2, DeJounte. And if you're actually looking at what's happening right now, Atlanta, they basically, I won't say they've got him on the block, but they're willing to trade away from
No,
him.
they're willing to get rid of him.
And the one thing I would say stands in the way of that is Rich Paul. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
And you know where he's going.
But what I will say, I think to
You'll know
finish
where
off,
he's going.
yeah. But I think what's been good has been reported that there is at least some willingness to have a conversation. And I think the second thing would be, what I really believe this is a move that sets up the big move in 2025. Because if you look at who's going to be whose contract is done in 2027, you've got to look 2 years ahead. And B's contract is done in 2027. I know the Knicks still hold interest in Karl Anthony Towns. His contract is done in 2028. Devin Booker's contract is done in 2025. So if you're looking at, okay, we've talked about this before, GOAT level talent, the Currys, the LeBrons, the KDs. Next notch down, Giannis. I don't know if I'd put Tatum in that, but I think I
would.
Yeah, but
I would
I'm
not.
talking more so like age, because I think when I
yeah.
go the year below that, that's
He's
when you
not
get.
He's not it. Tatum's not it. Sorry, he's not.
We'll see.
But I think where that second tier of talent, your Jokic's, your Embiid's, your Giannis's, I think your Bookers to a certain degree. I don't know if Booker is in like maybe like generation 3, the Lucas, the Foxes, the Jars. I think that's where the Knicks will start trying to acquire talent at that level. That's that essentially the MVP talent level. That's when you start getting that 2025, 2026. If we have 2 pieces, even if it's, let's say we package up a DeJounte Murray and a Julius Randle and some draft picks or like a bad contract, that would make up the money needed to get a $45-50 million player. And I think that's essentially what the Knicks have been doing. It's really, okay, is our franchise attractive enough for that type of talent? And are we in a competitive space to do that?
But it's mad though, because I hear what you're saying, but when you think about it, even if you get, say like you get DeJounte Murray now, and then in 2-3 years time you package them up, who that superstar or that MVP level talent that you're getting to come, who's he playing with to get you over that? Because you're going to end up back in the same situation where whilst you have a superstar talent, you don't have a squad good enough to help that superstar to get you.
Well, it depends.
to the promised land.
It depends. That's why you've got to have at least 2 to 3 guys, at least one of those guys remaining. For me, that will be either Brunson or Randall. Because remember, both their contracts expire. They've got both player options in 2 years or a year and a half. One of them will sign. One of them will sign. I think we re-signed OG Anunoby at the end of this season, and we got the bird rights, so we can able to, luxury tax will be available. So that's the thing. It's obviously the way media is, the way fan media is, the way we are as fans in general. Like, we look at a lot of things, even us non-casuals, we don't see the layers below the layers below the layers.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
a business.
we really have to dig.
Having said, to your point, if you grab someone in free agency, you don't have to give anyone up. So
But who's free agent in 2 years' time?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not so much who's a free agent, it's who's a free agent in 26, 27,
Yeah.
because a talent of that level, you're not going to let him go all the way up to 26 or 2027.
sometimes it happens though.
No, it does.
Sometimes
But what I'm saying is, and this is what Woj was saying, he goes, what the strategy seems to be for the Knicks coming into this summer is seeing who underachieves, whether it be their franchise or that particular player, because what you want to be able to go to that franchise and say, all right, that player is unhappy. You hope that our front office is doing, not that tapping them up, they're doing what they need to be doing, making it, having those conversations with that player's agent. And then you're saying, okay, well, come to the Knicks now. We've got Brunson, we've got Murray, we've got OG, we've got a squad. You're literally the final piece, and you just go from there. I think we're well set up. If you look at the role players that we have, you're looking at some strong role players, man. You're looking at Dante DiVincenzo, you're looking at Josh Hart, you're looking at Grimes, who's obviously picking it up. You're looking at Hartenstein. Listen, man, Knicks are coming on 2025. That's when we'll become title candidates.
Just
2025.
Just to round off for the Knicks, and I know we've discussed this guy and you've talked about him a lot. Just now, Jalen Brunson, he had an amazing Christmas Day. He has been playing out of his skin, but is he an all-star level player?
I mean, I voted him All-Star. He's got
Yeah,
my
but
All-Star vote. I know it's one vote out of many,
yeah.
man.
You have to think.
You're a Knicks fan, though.
Yeah.
I would say two things. One thing that will help him is the fan voting, because obviously Knicks have got a very vocal fan base. That's going to push him towards the top. But who would you say is main competition in the East?
In the guard position.
In the guard position, yeah.
So you got
Trae
Dame.
Young.
You say?
Trae Young.
Yeah, Trae Young for sure.
Damian Lillard.
Dame, LaMelo.
LaMelo's not going to...
LaMelo's injured.
He's injured.
Yeah,
LaMelo.
Just to keep him out.
Celtics. One of the Celtics I put up there.
You could say Holiday, but he's not going to make it.
He's
He's not going to make it.
Tyrese Maxey, but I think
Maxey.
Brunson's got a stronger media shout. I think the conversation around.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's close.
I don't know. I think that's one on one. That's 1-on-1, bro.
Really? Between Maxey?
Yeah, Maxey and because you have to think, when the Harden trade happened, they expected Philly to not
drop off a bit,
tank, but to drop off. Like you say, they haven't at all.
But when I say the media, don't get me wrong, Maxey's getting his flowers. I would say with Brunson, he's seen as the guy most responsible for the Knicks' trajectory, more so than even Randall at this point, because obviously Randall's got a history of bad postseason performances. I think when it comes down to deciding, obviously fans will go either way, but I think with the media votes and the coaching votes,
we're mad. We're forgetting something. Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're still naming loads. Yeah, of course, we're naming loads.
Yeah,
To be
bro.
honest, he's a lock, really. He's a lock. He's a lock.
So, all right,
He's a
but
lock.
you got to think about it. If Halliburton's a lock,
Yeah.
Trey's going to be a lock.
See,
Do you think-
I don't think Trey's a lock.
Why?
I don't think Trey's a lock.
Ooh.
I think
that
you're
would
really
be surprising.
I think you're underestimating like the media coverage that even when Becky Hammond was making those comments about him being too undersized for like a premier player, like a 1A, I think even that triggered a lot of, whether it be negative or positive, just a lot of conversation about Brunson that he wasn't even having when he was balling out in Dallas for his first season last year. I think now people are actually like, oh,
Any media is good media in a sense. Any media is good media. So
I think Halliburton has got the streets. I think casuals and like people that are on social media, but I think Halliburton's still not getting the props he should be getting on national media.
I think Halliburton, he is now. He wasn't before, but like I said to someone recently, the playing tournament completely changed that for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why it's so important.
Yeah,
I think, because
the coverage
exactly.
alone was
So
mad.
now I'm hearing his name more than ever before. So I do feel like he's getting what he deserves now. Because even you man's announcer tried to call him a wannabe all-star.
Yeah, and then
you had to
give him the look.
Yeah,
give him the look.
you had to take the comment back.
Yeah. I miss Halliburton, man. He's on my
I was
fantasy
wrong.
team, so.
But you know what? Halliburton, he's a weird one, because when you look at his shooting mechanics,
Super
it is
ugly.
awful,
It's
bro.
super ugly, honestly.
But it goes in.
It's one of the worst shots I've ever seen in my life.
His
It's
shooting
like,
mechanics are disgusting. It's like, bro, how are you
Ugh.
making this?
it's super ugly. But
So
if it goes in,
it goes in, man.
it's like Jokic. It looks like it's taking a throw in
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
If it goes in, what can you say?
Fair enough.
But like guard-wise, I think he's definitely within the conversation. I think there's going to be a guard or a couple of guards that will miss out. We'll be like, they've made the case. But I think the good thing with Brunson, at the very least, is that he's impacting winning, and it's just more so a case of, okay, like how do you better fit things around him? But he's getting his props, man. As long as he gets some sort of shout, whether it be all-star or potentially an all-NBA shout, and maybe third team or something.
I think he's in with a shout for second or third team while he's playing.
All NBA
Yes, it's third team.
at guard.
I think so.
Are you forgetting remember, you're forgetting the West.
Look how he's playing.
Yeah.
He's up there. Like I would. So if it was announced that he was all NBA third, like in third.
So you're talking six guards total, right?
Would you be shocked?
6 guards.
Total, right? So you're talking, all right, so you're definitely getting...
Steph is there.
Steph is a lock.
No matter John.
Jar's not a lock. There's no way
He's not
Jar's
a lock,
making
is
NBA. He's not making
Yeah.
NBA.
He hasn't played as much as he
As
needs
much.
to.
No, he's making an NBA.
What do you, hold on, wait.
Shea.
It's a threshold
Shea.
now, isn't there? It's a threshold.
But I think he just makes it though.
But still, people will still hold
Yeah,
it
like
against him.
I don't
They'll
feel good the votes.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Shea for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Shea,
Steph,
out the West, yeah, I'll say O'Shea, Steph.
Luca.
Is he listed as a guard?
Yeah.
All right. So we got spaces for 3 more.
Dame.
I don't know if he's a lock ahead of Brunson. I'll be real with you.
Halliburton. So
I don't know for the whole again. Like
Nah,
For
Halliburton,
all
I'd say.
the NBA. So let's say you got those three out west that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Halliburton in the east,
Yeah,
the lock.
Yeah, I'll say he's a lot.
You got 2 spaces left.
Yeah.
The 2 spaces you're looking at Trey, Brunson, Dame,
Maxi.
Maxi.
Yeah, he's in with a shout. What I'm
He's in
saying.
with a shout.
I'm saying he's in with a shout.
He's
That's
in
but
with
what
I
I'm saying.
really, but like going back to what you said about
He's in with a shout. He is.
about we'll see with some of the younger guards though. And you know, I'm a massive Halliburton fan, massive Maxi fan. There's a lot of guards I'm a fan of. I mean, we haven't even talked about DeAndre Fox out the West either.
Oh, yeah.
He's not putting up any trees, is he? Really? He's doing his business. Don't get it twisted. He's not putting up any trees.
It's fair.
He's going to be all-star though.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think he'll be.
Out west.
Yeah, and I'll be very surprised if he's not. We'll see. But I think like.
Oh, how many guards have you all star taken?
You forgot we did Steph the other day, and I know you're forgetting.
That's not gonna be. You just wanted to say that. You just wanted to say that. That's not making him an all star, bro.
All I'm saying is just be, like he'll make some noise. Trust me, he'll make some noise. But one thing we always have to take into consideration is obviously the fan voting. Like
Yeah.
certain.
And that's how like for example,
that's why Steph's always gonna make it. LeBron's always gonna make it.
that's why LeBron's always gonna get the most votes.
He's always gonna be captain, always.
Yeah, because
Always.
it's the fan vote,
Yeah.
isn't it? So okay, fair enough. We'll see. Obviously it was Christmas time.
Mhm.
We spoke about the Knicks
Mhm.
and their game. There was a lot of good games over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with my Golden State. We didn't really have a good Christmas. We lost to Denver on Christmas Day. So Golden State is really. I was gonna swear there.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating watching them, yeah, because you look at them and you think you lot have got enough. Especially we have got the best bench in the league by a mile.
Who's your second unit?
Scoring Chris Paul,
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan Kuminga,
Yeah.
Moses Moody, the white guy, I forgot his name, Brandon Podominski.
Yes.
And you have to remember, there were times where Brandon's starting and Wiggins is coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at in terms of scoring, like we are all our second unit is always outscoring the second unit of the team, any team that we play, always.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you've got that. You've got Steph who, can go and give you 25, 30. So really and truly, why is it that when games are close, we're always losing?
Because I think
that's what's killing me.
Do you think it's more of a defensive issue or an offensive issue?
I'll tell you why. Because Draymond's not there.
Forget that, because we've sharp.
The heart and soul. The leader's not there. That's what it
The
is.
emotional leader's not there.
We've played
Them 2 points a game, you're missing them right now, aren't you?
them 2 points and 4 assists and 8 rebounds. But do you know what it is? It's frustrating to watch. Yeah, I think even against Denver, we were down by like 15 or 18. Then we came all the way back. We came all the way back. We were tied, and I was like, right, this is it. We've got them. Oh, we went down. Clay missed a free. They went up. They hit a layup. Went down again. Clay missed a finger roll layup. They went down.
In all seriousness,
on the layup.
You don't think Draymond can make a difference in a game like that? Like his experience and his leadership, you don't think that makes a difference? I genuinely think it could make a difference.
But all right, yes and no. The reason I say no is because we were still losing close games when Draymond was playing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's I just don't know what it is, and obviously, Amps would be loving this right now because Amps would be saying, "Yeah, sure, it's your coach, Steve Kerr," and Steve Kerr has been whining a lot.
But defense,
he's been whining a lot. But bro, you're the coach.
Coach.
You're the coach, bro. Stop going on in the games reporting and talking about our defense every game. You're talking about, okay, coach them. All right.
Nah, shoot, do something about it.
Do something about it.
Monday to
Who
Friday.
tends to close in terms of lineups? Obviously, Steph, Clay.
It really depends.
Yeah.
It really and this is another thing because there's a game where, like, for example, Wiggins and Clay can't even get in the fourth. They can't even get in, and then there's other games where they're closing. Like you haven't got.
There's no consistency.
There's no.
Yeah.
There's no. We used to have what we call the death lineup. Once they put their man out there, game's over. We don't have that anymore. And it's like, Steph is mad frustrated. You can see he is overly. It's like you look to your goats, your goat level players, your LeBrons, your Stephs, and saying, okay, you're the guys that are meant to take it over. And as much as I say Steph can do that, he's also not of the size to do that. And if you watch basketball, you understand what I'm saying.
Impose your will.
He can't just start playing bully ball. Like his bully ball is he'll shake you out, hit a three, like shake. But if the three doesn't fall, three is a low percentage shot. Like as much as he makes them, they are low percentage shots. If he misses one, if he misses two, wait, it's just going down the other end, and
especially when it comes to like half court defenses, where like obviously spacing. And and if like Clay isn't splashing like he was splashing before pause, and then you've got Wiggins playing inconsistency. Obviously, Paul ain't there no more, so you ain't got the same offensive spark there. Obviously, Chris Paul, I could understand.
Chris Paul is annoying me, bruv. This guy is he had his automatic mid range from the right hand side of the key, dribble, pull up.
That's his spot.
Yeah,
that's his. He's missing that. If you're missing that, bro, what are you doing here?
What do you think? You make any moves before the trade deadline?
We have to. We need a center. More than anything else, as much as I've complained about every other position, we need a center. Looney, brother, as much as I respect him, as much as he did what he did to get us our chip in that year, bro, you're not it, man. You're not it.
You saying you could trade back for Wiseman?
I'll be real with you.
No.
I'll be real with you. If you guys, it depends. I mean, it's sad what's happened with Dre. Do you think it's a case of 1 out of the 3 has to go, or you reset with 2 out of the 3 going? With Steph obviously remaining with some sort of talent.
Do you know what? From a sentiment point of view, I really wish they could end their careers at Golden State. From a pure sentiment point of view. But I think both Clay and Draymond gotta go. And I sat here and when Ash said Clay hasn't done anything to improve his game, and I think that is still a very harsh take. What it is, Clay, is that you were good. You were amazing. Like, we loved you. But right now, you're kind of a detriment to the team because we're looking to you to make these shots. Like, we're finding you open to make the three.
What do you think it is, though? Because when he came back from the injury, you wouldn't have won that chip without him. So it's not, you can't say the injuries have destroyed him.
I don't know.
So what is it then?
And it's mad because he has games where you think, wow, Clay's back. Then he has games where it's like, what the hell happened? So it's like, do you know what it is? It's the inconsistency. Like, we need you to we need that consistent 15 points, 4 rebounds, but you're also putting up good defense against, maybe not their best player, their second best.
Second or third best, yeah.
We also, that's what we need. But we're not getting that.
Because I don't see what moves you can make. I'm not even talking about this season, even in the summer, where you keep Dre and Clay and you improve in where you need to improve.
So, like, I think the thinking was someone like Dario Saric, who can play the 5. The idea was that Looney will be in to grab us the boards and stuff, but when it came down to the scoring, you can space the floor with a Dario Saric, right? You can't really space it with Looney. But even when we're playing Saric, he's not making the shots. That's the problem. To me, as much as defense is a problem is we are a team that is built to hit the 3. If we're not hitting the 3, we're not winning the games.
Yeah, because Clay, Steph, your guards ain't driving.
Nope.
Do you know what I mean? You ain't got a team that's particularly strong.
Steph will drive, but Clay ain't. Not really.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying, where like there's a quarter or like a period in the game where it's just like you're just trying to drive to the hole, and then that later creates space. Because like even to your point before, you had guys that are great cutters. You talk about your Iggy's, your Harrison Barnes, you had great players even in the mid range. So even like a Sean Livingston,
mad,
hit in the
crazy,
in the mid range.
crazy mid range.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously Harrison Barnes, he could shoot. You know what I mean? And then like even your bigs before, they were able to contribute in ways where it wasn't just off.
Bro,
You know,
a guy like
Bogut was a very, very good center.
even a guy like JaVale McGill will give you 8 minutes of pure energy. Hella rebounds, kick it out. That's all he's doing. But we're not even like I like Clooney. I do like him, but it's just
I think sometimes what we do as fans is that we see what a player or a team does really, really well, not realizing that sometimes in order to do that thing really, really well, that requires like a secondary skill or secondary or tertiary traits that allows that thing to happen. So, for example, you guys are seeing all of the threes, not realizing that there's players that know how to move the ball quickly, they know how to drive,
set the right screens.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you have a better version of
moving screens.
You know what I mean? But I think, you know, it's difficult because you never want to call any athletes out, or not athletes out, call their decline too quickly. And you know, they're not that many years off winning their fourth chip. But it's just like, okay, where you're seeing the other teams and the lead players for the other teams continue to improve, it's our Golden State that far ahead where you can allow them to catch up?
Nope.
We know that not to be the case. Or are they also improving at a similar rate where they're at least trying to keep that distance between up-and-comers?
All I'm saying is go get me Zach LaVine.
Well, they might have sense about that.
Just go get me Zach LaVine. That's all. Just go get me Zach LaVine.
I think it'll be really, really good alongside, because I think what it will do is you have another guard that will put pressure on defenses without having to have Steph carry that weight.
Exactly.
Like Zach LaVine's he can score on 3 levels. Right. And he's got it on him. And remember, he's still Minnesota. Zach LaVine is a whole different kind of athlete. Even this version is still very athletic.
Yep.
And he will be able to, even just like I said, even physically apply pressure on defenses in a way that even Clay is never been able to do. And I think that's what you got to think about. Okay, in order to get the best remaining is out of Steph, and obviously suit players like your Wiggins and whatnot, is have players that supplement them. Obviously with Wiggins, he can be a bit streaky. Obviously he's a really, really good, well-rounded player. But having just another perimeter threat, like consistent perimeter threat, I think would open up Wiggins' game more open threes, more lanes to obviously drive into, more cutting opportunities.
To be honest with you, Wiggins might have to go if you get in the vein.
Yeah,
Wiggins might be gone.
He probably would.
You
be
have
gone.
to go.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
would
what
be
I
gone.
think anyway.
But I don't want to stick on Golden State for too long. But there's one other thing. I think more than anything, we fucked it in the summer by getting rid of Jordan Poole.
Like I said in the podcast before, that was the worst trade, the most disrespectful trade I've ever seen in my life.
We fucked it.
It was ridiculous.
Like we fucked it in the summer by getting.
It makes no sense on any level.
He was the guy. He was that guy that would, like, he's a problem.
And it's sad that the organization gave up on him so quickly.
Yeah.
Do you not think though?
And as much as he isn't balling, where is it, Washington?
Who is?
Golden State was the right place for him, but they needed Jordan
Yes.
Poole because he was the guy he's the guy that's young enough but good enough to maintain a degree of a competitive level.
Yes.
And it's also, like you said, right? Like I'm more comfortable getting rid of either Clay or Dre if I have Jordan Poole.
I watched Jordan Poole's tribute video, the one they played at Golden State when he came. And there's just so many things that you forget. Like even in that Celtics final, there was he won two of the games. He did. Not Steph, not Clay, it was Jordan Poole.
That's one of my favorite traditions of basketball, though, because it's about time people it's only right that you give people their flowers when they return.
Yeah, no, man, he was the guy.
When I look back, I do feel bad for him. Like they say he had an attitude problem, and his body language wasn't great at times. But he's a young player.
But I think,
and also he got punched in the face in front of millions of people. My attitude wouldn't be great either.
Yeah.
But also you got to think of it. I think a part of it was listen, he was our second top scorer. So like he's looking at, if I'm second top scorer on this, this is an elite team. An elite team. And I've come in and I'm the second top scorer. Okay, you lot need to start giving me the ball. It's not about.
They didn't like that though.
It's not. I hear it.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
But you got to respect his game.
Yeah, fair enough.
You got to respect his game, and he was good enough. Clearly, you know, like Steph is your one by a country mile. If you're looking at your number two, like it's Jordan Poole.
This is why veteran leadership is key. And not to say they don't have that Golden State, because obviously you got 3 future Hall of Famers are all veterans at this point, right?
But are they leaders? They're veterans.
Because like I've started Udonis Haslem, obviously retired earlier. He's got his own platform now. And understanding, even if he doesn't play, I don't think that happens if you have a UD in there.
You had Iggy. You had Iggy.
You did have
And
Iggy.
to be honest with you, Iggy was the only one who actually spoke up for him. Like
He
everyone
did.
else was
Yeah,
like
it's true.
a bit talking like their side in the mouth.
But remember-
or silent. But Iggy came out and said that
They did have
you
Iggy,
disrespect
but
him like
they
that.
also knew that Iggy was going at the end of the season.
Yeah, but but it's the same thing.
So
It's-
for the organisation,
yeah.
you're looking at it, well, Iggy's gone. If we keep Paul, how does that affect the team? But in the same instance, keeping Draymond hasn't really done anything.
So,
for the team
like I
either.
said, I genuinely think it was Draymond flexing muscle saying, "I won't resign unless you get rid of this guy."
You should
That's what I genuinely think
have told him
happened.
to fuck off. But anyway, moving on from Golden State. What about your Lakers? Any trade
So
rumors?
some interesting lineups we've been seeing recently.
Yeah, so
Some interesting lineups we've been seeing. I've seen Torian Prince even getting real minutes. I'm like,
He didn't get minutes.
they ain't got it right yet. They're still trying to figure out what's working. But in terms of trade rumors, the names I've been hearing bandied about the most are Murray and Devine. But the only thing that makes me a bit unsure is I'm hearing that Reeves is
yeah, like
going.
he's not,
I can't see that. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Letting Reeves go, I'm not too sure. I'm happy. I'm happy
sort
for
of like
Russell
letting-
to go.
Sort of like letting Caruso go.
Yeah. And how'd that turn out?
Yeah, it
turn
didn't
out.
turn out too
they even
good.
talk about potentially getting him back somehow.
Yeah, but getting Caruso and Levine, but
Yeah.
I don't mind if you get rid of like even Hatchie and Russell.
Because I like, oh,
Well,
I
you know
don't
what's
mind him
mad
going.
though? But Hatchie was meant to be. He was meant to take the next step this
He
season.
he was, and he's not a bad player. But I just feel like I'll be more comfortable letting him go than Reeves personally.
Do you think if you get in, say you go and get in a DeJounte Murray, does that?
It does move the needle because
I think it moves the needle
Yeah.
because I think obviously he's been linked with the Knicks, but also he is exactly what the Lakers need.
Mm.
The difference is that they would have to give up some core pieces. I think more core than even the Knicks would
Wait.
to get Murray over to LA. Because would you have him starting at a guard position?
I would, yeah,
Yeah, point
I
guard?
would, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, he's not coming off the bench. Yeah,
Yeah. No, but I'm just thinking like
Um,
two guard though,
yeah.
because you could easily start D'Angelo and DeJounte Murray, in my opinion. I think the interesting thing about DeJounte Murray is, and it's the point I was making about kind of Kawhi.
Who plays the one in that situation?
Well, obviously, right now, who's the one dealer, right? Dealer's
Yeah.
starting point guard. Starting two is Torian Prince. So I'm saying the two lead guards, backcourt, D'Angelo Russell, DeJounte Murray. And then you got Reeves coming off the bench.
Okay.
And then
But
obviously,
Reeves will-
potentially, yeah,
Reeves
he would have
probably
gone.
be
He would have
gone.
gone.
Someone's got to go.
Yeah.
But,
And I just think it's, do you want to be continue to do the win now thing? Because I think there's at least three cores that you could say.
but when you got LeBron, it's always a win.
You
now.
have to win now.
Well,
You have to win. There's no choice
We
here.
ain't got time. We ain't got time to
Bro,
waste.
bro, this
Time
is
is
year what?
ticking.
Year
Yeah,
20,
you
year
know what I'm
21.
saying?
But you've got to win now.
It's my bad.
You're always a win now, and you got LeBron.
All right, so
And until he goes, it's going to be a win now situation. So whatever you do has to be to supplement that. That's what I think.
I don't want to talk about when LeBron goes here, but I think when LeBron goes, Lakers go from here down there.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not too sure. It depends because
On what? But if AD's your one, it's
no.
it's
Think about it
impossible.
because the games with LeBron has been out, and AD's had to carry.
Yeah, that's the games. I'm talking about having a
fair
whole
enough.
season.
Yeah,
it just depends on who's left.
it does depend on
Because I
who's
actually
left.
think like Lakers actually have a lot of good pieces. Like I'm still very high on Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of obviously Hashimura. I'm a big fan of Reeves. Like they've got good players, which is like whenever he does decide to leave, I think his contract is done in a year and a half now. It's to your point, right? There's no time. What are we willing to give up for that year and a half? Because there's no guarantees he's going to stay. He's going to go where Bronny goes. So unless LA trade for Bronny or Bronny
No,
goes,
apparently they're looking to draft Bronny because I think Bronny will be like a second round pick at this point.
yeah.
So I reckon, unless someone's moving diabolical and thinks let me grab Bronny so LeBron comes, he's gonna go. He's gonna end up in LA.
but yeah, like I think it's
You don't think LeBron is going to be a second round pick?
Yeah, at best. If he's not undrafted, it'd be second
I
round.
think he's going first round.
You reckon?
100%.
because it's not a particular strong draft class for a while
And
now.
bro, it's not, and you know, wherever Bronny goes, LeBron is
But
going.
even now, like he's coming off the bench
He's been doing okay. No, because
he's doing all right.
Yeah,
but obviously they have to restrict the minutes for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to be debating that. But I think there's going to be a lot of questions around his health as well. And honestly, if he's any other person, I don't think he'd even get drafted after that.
Sorry, Giannis Antetokounmpo is in the league for one reason and one reason only. Because his brother said, "I need you. I need him."
I hear you.
So, and that's Giannis.
Yeah, that's Giannis.
Think about it. It's LeBron, bro.
Giannis is in his prime. LeBron is.
It's LeBron. It's the king.
Bro,
there's no
I don't know if it'll be second round. I think it'll be. I'd like to see whose draft class would be.
I think it'd be second round personally.
I think second round is what 31 upwards.
Yeah.
You think in the first 30 players that Bronny is not going to get picked?
If you look at his where his ranking in his,
I don't care about
high
that.
school. I don't think he's top 30 in the country.
But you have to understand, colleges, high school, that's all great, but this is a business.
We'll see.
If I'm a team and I want LeBron at even if it's to sell shirts, to sell tickets, to put bums on seats, let me draft Bronny. LeBron's coming with him.
And to be fair, like I actually believe one of the reasons he doesn't stand out as much is because he's being developed to be an NBA guard.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I actually think that's one of the reasons he hasn't stood out as much as other prospects has, is because I think more than a lot of guards in his draft class, a lot of players in his draft class, he will be more NBA ready than a lot of them. But it's all the other mitigating circumstances that will potentially limit his opportunities.
Exactly. But to be fair, he would have been playing scrimmages from the age of 14, NBA scrimmages. So
and you know, I remember watching Gilbert Arenas on one of his streams, and he said like he's been training Bronny since he was young. And he speaks.
Gilbert has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously they're close. That family, they're close. You know how it's fraternity. The whole thing. He said like one of the most underrated thing about Bronny is his athleticism is actually insane. Like as an athlete, to be at 6'2", 6'3", it's some people have actually said he actually has LeBron's athleticism, but Bryce has LeBron's body.
Yeah, the height. Yeah.
And if you actually look at a lot of the buckets, his ability to defend, his read,
even to dunk.
You know how you put my career, you put your player together, you got your build, and they have like a template.
Yeah.
The best way you can kind of describe Bronny is he is like Drew Holiday. And for me, it's like if people are likening you to Drew Holiday, I know Holiday comes from like a family of like players and stuff. It would be good to see where he was kind of like, you know, drafted, like what he was, you know, what his prospect chances were. But I don't remember Drew Holiday. I mean, I wasn't into basketball like that.
Yeah.
You know, back when he was getting drafted. But I don't remember him being like a particularly high, you know, rank in regards to all of that. I think really and truly, like Bronny's success is more to do with like how hungry he is.
How much does he really want it?
I actually think it's just that simple. I think he already has the baseline talent to have an NBA career.
Yeah.
And obviously nepotism is going to nepotize. So it's like, bro, like, it will. You know, and I think, all right, well, you already know there's going to be franchises interested in you just because of your name, right? I actually think there's going to be a lot of hoopers of his age gap will either want to play against him or play with him.
Do you know what it is? Also, when he comes into the league, people are going to be onto him.
People are going to bust his head top.
Brooks is going to be onto him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to bust his head top.
They're going to be onto him, boy.
Ime Udoka's going to have all kinds of coverages for him, bro.
Trust me.
Udoka's going to have all kinds of coverages for him, bro. Ime's going to be like, yo, listen.
Hey, that Ime Udoka Bron story is crazy, you know?
What, the party thing? Yeah.
What you saying? What happened?
Streets are saying that Rich Paul had a...
with Cameron.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad,
listen, LeGM. There's the reason they call him LeGM, you know.
He's playing chess.
Now he said, right, this man's talking crazy to me. Yeah, sort that out. But moving on though, obviously he's not here today. Actually, I don't know if he's even a Suns guy anymore, but we're talking about
them subtle shots.
Final thing about LeBron on his 39th birthday, how the NBA did him dirty. He's got a three-pointer. Ruined Christmas.
But just to for everyone, so the game was it tied? Or was that was to tie?
That was to tie.
That was to tie.
Yeah.
LeBron took a shot just outside the 3-point line. The referees ruled that his foot was on the line, so it went down as a 2. LeBron was livid. Replays show. I'm not gonna lie. Replays show that his foot was on the line.
Do you know what? It don't. It depends on when the ball was released, because there's angles of his foot clearly being behind the line.
Yes, but there's also angles of his foot being on the line and the ball is still in his hand. But
we don't see the ball in his hand at that point, though. That's the thing. That's why I need to see a full.
You need to
Yeah, because so it's all about when the ball is released.
But I mean, to be honest with you, it's LeBron, man. They should have given that a free. They should have given
his birthday.
They should have given that a free. You know, like it's mad because like obviously we complain about football VAR, and I've always been an advocate for video assistant refereeing on because of the way basketball does it. And like, you know, you have caucus and they go and they really look at it. And even then, looking at it, it looks like you said, there's angles where his foot is clearly behind the line. But there's some certain angles where it's like his foot is just over the line, but it's not touching the line. It's a mad one. Like, I don't know how the refs to cool, and do you know what I think the refs to call it a 2 at that point, at that stage of the game against LeBron, I think was very brave. Because I say it like this, if they'd called it a 3, they wouldn't have overturned it. They
wouldn't have overturned it, no.
And I mean, the officiating, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm still getting, I need to have like a real deep dive in terms of like the process. And I guess it's good being a football fan and seeing like the whole scandals around VAR, because it's more so how do they go about making that decision? Like, we cannot make arguments about angles and whatnot. It's who has the final say.
That's
you know,
true.
how many people are reviewing these things?
I think the final say comes from the refs on the floor, you know.
Okay, so it's not from like New York or anything.
So they tell them, and then it's after review. They have a conversation, but the refs on the floor take the final say.
Okay. Because I need to see a full angle of like, because it's difficult because you need to see it zoomed in, and you also need to see where the ball is.
Yeah.
In a shooting motion.
But anyway, LeBron lost, bro.
Yeah, they've been losing, boy. They've been losing.
What happened specifically after the in-season tournament? Because obviously they've essentially fallen off a cliff, and we were looking at them like, oh, okay, like, do they have title aspirations? And now it's just like, well, it's the degree of the drop-off.
Because I think they're happy being narrow thereabouts, and then after All-Star weekend, that's when they're gonna
basically they're pacing themselves.
Yeah.
They're doing Cleveland.
Somebody
second
said
stint Cleveland, basically.
I don't remember who said this. One of our first pods, but someone said that basically LeBron never really turns up until after his birthday.
Yeah.
But because of the in-season tournament, he basically turned up for those games.
Yeah.
And then the rest was like, the rest is okay. Well, don't worry, All-Star's coming. My birthday's coming. After my birthday, then it's All-Star. Once that's then he'll do this 0 dark 30
playoff mode,
and that's it. He's gone. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Amps' team or his not team, or I don't know. Amps, you're gonna have to come and clarify whether you're a Suns fan or you're not a Suns fan.
Or what is it?
OKC. Nobody knows now, innit? But anyway, the Suns have finally got their big 3 on the court, and they are scoring.
Yeah, not surprised.
They are scoring. They are winning. But my question is that sustainable?
I think in terms of the talent they've got, it's sustainable, but injuries. That's my main issue. Can they keep them all on the floor together? Which I don't think they can. My
question on the sustainability is when we get to playoffs and the game is completely slowed down, you're playing half court sets, somebody's got to bring the ball up, somebody's got to call plays, somebody's touches and shots are going to go down. Are they going to be able to maintain the level of scoring that they're doing right now to win games? Because the only way they're not going to win games by playing defense. They are not.
Yeah.
They're going to win games by outscoring you.
But the thing you got to think, how many teams have got 3 players that can nullify all their big 3? I don't think there's anyone that can do that. So someone's going to be scoring. Out of the 3 of them, I trust someone to get hot. At least 2 of them to get hot.
But I think the issue is that at this point, it's a really interesting conversation. I think what you're talking about is really about defense and understand, okay, we know that we're living in the era of the most skilled, regardless of like the configuration, whether you got your 3 that are all scoring. All you need is, even if you've got two premier scorers, typically speaking, at least 2 others on the 5 can score.
Yep.
Not necessarily by themselves, but they can knock down shots, they can drive, they can be a threat. Like, even my Knicks, one of the reasons I don't like Mitchell Robinson for us is because he doesn't stretch the floor at all. But you know he's definitely good offensive rebounds. Back to the Suns, I think it's a case of when they need to score, it's not so much do they have the talent. Obviously, we know they have the talent, but it's like it's the right situations. Is it good looks? You know, is it a case of are they not tired because they've had to play 38 to 42 minutes? And on top of that, it's just like they're going to be getting worked defensively regardless. You know, so I mean, yeah, to Fabes' to counter argument, like, do our teams set up to stop free scorers? Not really, but I think the way teams will be defending in the process will be very different. It'll be more about help defense. It'll be more about team defenses. It'll be more about taking away from certain tendencies or being like, okay, I can live with Bradley Beal in the mid range getting twos. I can live with Booker going off, but KD's the one we can't let go off. Or we can let KD go off, but we've got to make sure we've got to stop Beal and Booker.
Do they? Sorry, before you go, do they make a trade to get I would say a third level point guard, but a point guard in? So not a scoring point guard.
It's just straight up,
Just a straight up floor general.
Or like a Chris Paul.
You can't get Chris Paul unless KD wants to come back home.
I'm being out
maybe
running.
go talk to Rondo or something.
Yeah, someone of that ilk.
What just? What's he saying nowadays?
I don't know what he's saying.
But I was thinking like that. Actually, I was thinking something like that.
Yeah, but like you got to go with that kind of profile of a guy that just knows how to like just run the floor. He's just there to obviously dish it out.
If he can keep himself in good condition, maybe
you know, like and again, it's like veteran leadership because you know you can't expect Booker to be that. KD, you know, doesn't want to take up that mantle. Bill just landed. He's just trying to get fit again. He's just trying to obviously play and just trying to hoop.
My problem with the Suns is that they have got 3 flat out scorers who are just scorers. Like, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way because KD is all time, but he's a scorer. That's what
I don't know if you can rely on Booker to be the one.
Exactly.
Because he's not a true combo. I would say someone like CJ McCollum is more of a true combo guard. You know, like Booker can handle it. Yeah, you can like run the second unit for a while, but like we had it the Christmas Day. Obviously, they played the Knicks. You saw the difference.
Yeah,
and the Knicks. Obviously, you think about Tibbs. You think about the Knicks. Even the last few years,
they could play defense.
But actually, our offense has been better than our defense this season. And even against the Knicks' defense, even against a Jalen Brunson, you saw Phoenix really struggle for shot creation in the fourth because it was we're just directed. We're putting you where we need to put you, right?
And they still got a guy like Eric Gordon on the team who he's not a point guard. To me, he can play the point, but to me, he's a guy who you go and put him in the corner and say, "Hit me through."
Yeah.
You know, again, that's a scorer. That's a shooter. That's a scorer for you. So, do they try and package something up to keep the big three, but package something to go and get them?
Who would you go for?
Their depth is already so despicable.
Yeah,
I actually think it would. They basically have to live by it for the end of the season. But unless they're acquiring someone in free, like a free agent,
it's got GD man at the moment. Realistically, like they're in the bench.
Obviously, they got no draft capital.
Yeah,
it's true. What do they have?
You know, so hey man, live by the sword, die by the sword. Like it literally
I think they kind of made their bed now, and they
made their bed. You have to run with it until the end of the season, and then see what you want to do with. I mean, that Bill just got there. KD just got there. I mean, it wouldn't be people are funny enough talking about KD. There's been a lot of conversations about him, particularly going back home to OKC.
But do you know what? Do you know what I think?
I actually think that'll be
that would be dope in some sense, but
I don't.
But it's just like what you go back to OKC when they're already hot.
Hold on, all right.
Shay's already there.
Let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you both.
That's what he does, though, isn't it?
This is what I was gonna say.
So like, come get your guy.
I've heard about. I've talked about Russ going back to OKC.
Yeah,
and I think that will be great for Russ's legacy to go back there, give them that veteran leadership. But as much as KD is an OKC veteran, KD going back there I don't think it helps his legacy. I think it diminishes it.
Of course it does, because he left.
Not only that, you're only going back there because you see what's going on over there.
You see what's going on, yeah.
You're not going back there because
it's not an emotional fairy tale story.
It's like rod.
Like if Russ went back over there, how tall is Shea roughly? Is he like a tall point guard?
Yeah, he's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
My thing would be, And to be fair, I think Russ would even go back there and come off the bench
Yes,
comfortably.
100%.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
He's come off the bench at Clippers, but of course he's going back
Yeah.
to come off the bench.
But I think at the same time, it's really interesting because like with Russ, it's like, bro, he's home. All of them boys over there, they're home.
Mm.
Like Russ, PG, Kawhi, Harden, they're all home. I think with KD, it's at a point now where even if you win, even if he was to win at Phoenix, like, A, I don't think he's winning 1-on-1, but B, I think it's also a case of just running from the grind. And it's a shame because we're not talking about your talent at this point. Everyone knows how talented you are.
Mm.
But it's also, we know he has a deep appreciation for the game. Like, he's a real craftsman in that way. Like, he's a hooper. But I don't understand how you can put yourself in so many positions to...
Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah. Mad.
Okay. Right.
Mad.
Shout out to Clips for that one.
Yeah, mad.
I don't understand how KD put himself in certain situations where it's like, even the Phoenix move didn't make a lot of sense to me, because I'm sure you wouldn't have gone to Phoenix unless you knew the Bill situation was happening, and knowing what's happened at Brooklyn, I don't know. It baffles me, man. It really.
But he
baffles
went
me.
to Phoenix when he went last season, right?
Yeah, it would have been
Way
before,
before
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was way
I
before
think
Bill.
he wanted out of Brooklyn. He just wanted out. It just weren't popping from there.
Yeah.
Like, was he there by himself? Kyrie had already gone at that point. It was just him.
Kyrie basically.
Don't forget,
Kyrie was already on a. I remember Kyrie was already on a mad one.
because
Kyrie
he went there
tricked
for Kyrie, innit? He went there for Kyrie,
Yeah.
and then Kyrie's in
Kyrie tricked
Dallas. Pretty much.
But you know what it is actually.
You think,
You
what
know,
am I doing?
I don't think
Wasting time.
I don't think Kyrie tricked him. I think the two of them together going to get Harden was a bad move.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because at least if you don't have to get Harden, then if it goes wrong, there's still room to
Yeah.
whether it be.
Once you went and got Harden, you trade away everything you ever had.
Yeah,
Wow, it was mad.
All the depth was gone.
Speaking of
Mad.
Harden, how are we feeling about? Sorry, like we're going off the dome right now.
Yeah.
Clippers.
Yeah, no.
They're rolling now.
I was coming there anyway. So
No, they're rolling.
yeah, they're rolling.
Thing is, I always knew there were people having too much fun with Harden. Like, I know no one really likes spending. People having a lot of fun when they weren't doing well. But the cream was rising to the top, man. I always thought they're gonna.
When he takes off his fat suit, Harden is a
No, but
player.
I always knew it would come good. Always knew.
When you say come good though, I'm still not convinced.
Well,
On what?
Because when I say collection of players like that, like I don't feel like what you do in the regular season is never going to impress me. You've got a championship coach, you've got a 2-time finals MVP on that team, you've got
Shit.
three.
Nah, the 2 times final. I'll let you finish. I'll let
You got
finish, I'll
three.
finish.
You have 3 MVPs on that team, right? Russ, Harden,
Nah,
Kawhi's on.
never
Right,
never won.
either way,
You got 2.
You got 2 former MVPs on there. At that point, like the only reason I don't think, just on paper, that you don't win is more so age. Like that's the only thing that I'm thinking. Like you got a lot of guys that plus 30 on there, a lot of guys that plus 32, 30, 33, 34. And then you're thinking health, but like Russ has never had an issue with health. Harden is more about conditioning.
Obviously, you got to worry about that.
Kawhi and PG.
You got to worry about that.
And it's like, obviously if either one of them go down, because I think with Kawhi and PG being obviously generally speaking 2-way players, and obviously they're your money, obviously on the offensive end, obviously they give you size on the wing. Let's relax now. I think it's a case of, all right, well, when it comes to facing, like, what do they do if they've got to play Denver? Because I actually think Denver, whilst they may not have those pieces in the wing, obviously with James Harden at the 1, I think James Harden versus Jamal Murray. So I think Jamal Murray potentially gets the better of James Harden, personally speaking.
When you say the better of him, what do you mean?
Not necessarily statistically or anything. I think he gets easier looks. I think.
You think Jamal Murray gets easier?
I think he gets easier looks than James Harden.
You don't respect James Harden, bro.
James Harden doesn't even go for looks. He doesn't even move off the ball to get looks.
Bro, you're disrespecting his offensive play, bro.
No. James Harden offensive play. He is a master offensive player. He's a master of his craft. But it's a very, very. It's a difficult one because I do respect the value of mastering 1 or 2 or 3 moves. And I actually think in
Yeah.
some ways that's actually better than just having a bag that's deep
Yeah.
for the sake of having a bag.
He's got 3 moves of doom.
But the issue is that his moves, I've not seen him take him all the way to the finals as the leader of his franchise or even as a co-star of his franchise. Because ultimately speaking, it's like, okay, cool, I know you're not going to go to the mid-range. You're not going to take me to that right elbow and then just pull up. I know PG. I am
This
more,
is unfair, bro.
even though Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have never had a offensive season anywhere close to James Harden at his finest. At the same time, I know in a clutch time, I trust Kawhi and I trust PG more than I trust James Harden offensively.
Oh, this is a bad one.
Nah,
I'll give you Kawhi.
I hear you.
I don't know if I'm giving you PG.
PG.
I will give you
PG,
Kawhi.
listen, in terms of skill and talent, PG is arguably top 5 most talented players in the league. Arguably. The only thing that lets PG down is mentality.
He's a hooper.
Like, 3-level scorer, he's clutch.
Fine, I hear that.
Mid-range,
I
he
hear
can
that,
drive to
but
the hoop.
mentality-
The bag is deep. Like, open, catch and shoot, he's way better than James Harden.
But what I'm trying to say, what my point is that when you talked about if it's in the clutch, a lot of it is about your mentality.
True.
So, and that's where PG lets himself down. And do you know what? To be fair, it's also where James Harden lets himself down.
Yeah, very much.
The mentality of both of them. That's what I'm saying. I'll give you Kawhi. We know what Kawhi can do in the clutch. I mean, we've seen it. I don't know if I can recall the play of PG in the clutch. The only play I can recall PG in the clutch is when Dame shot from the backcourt and scored.
I see. Hey, PG definitely got a game winner over the Christmas period against someone. Who was it? It was against
When you say clutch, I'm talking like
we're talking,
bro.
performance.
We're talking
I agree.
clutch, playoff, clutch.
I agree.
It's time.
Come
Do
time.
you know what? The way I'm looking at it is, I just remember when the Clippers obviously is a very different setup, but you can make the argument that the better all-round team is the bubble year. Obviously, when Devin knocked them out that year.
Okay.
And it's like, again, because it's a more well-rounded squad, yeah, PG and Kawhi are only like elite talents, but actually your role players are way better.
I hear you. Just a quick question, and I saw this on the Gilbert Arenas podcast, and I wanted to ask this question. I've forgotten the guy. You mentioned his name today in the group
Sean
chat.
McCants.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said that Iguodala is a better player than Kawhi Leonard.
What was his argument? Because I didn't fully
His argument
Yeah.
was that obviously he was saying that Iguodala was it when AI left. Iguodala stepped up
Yeah.
and was number one. He's saying that Kawhi, in his prime, he's only ever had 1 year where he has been the guy on the team, right? They're saying most of his Spurs years he had
that's fair enough.
Tim Duncan with him. He also talked about the finals MVPs and said that one of them Kawhi should not have got.
Hold on, interject there. He said that in the same breath, yeah. What did he say about Iggy's MVP?
Right, he didn't. And this was my point when I was watching it. I was going mad because he was saying, "Yeah, you like Kawhi got an MVP and LeBron shot 53% on
They
him."
got the same MVP.
And I said, "Well, what did
They literally got the same MVP.
Literally the same, but Kawhi's got another one."
Yeah, exactly.
Kawhi-
They both
but
got
then-
one MVP off LeBron's back.
But then the argument for Kawhi's second one is that if KD and Clay don't go
That's
down,
a lot of ifs and buts, though, man.
Yeah.
he doesn't win that.
That's a lot of ifs and buts.
So it's like the question is, if we were to stop there, obviously Iguodala's retired. More power to him. If we were to stop Kawhi's career today, I think it's like 13 or 14 seasons. In their primes, which one was better?
I'm taking Kawhi.
I'll be super honest with you. I don't feel I'm equipped to have that answer because I just wasn't watching Philly enough at that point to like I know what Iggy was about, obviously pre-Golden State, just off like research.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me to even somewhat answer this question, I've got to really like assess Kawhi's like journey, essentially last couple of years at Spurs onwards. And ultimately speaking, it's of course always been an injury thing. right? Like, I don't like to fall too much into the politics or like he's taking extra time off and all those things there, right? But it's for all intents and purposes. Even with Iggy, it was more about stopping LeBron. And obviously, since Kawhi essentially done the same thing, won the finals MVP for doing the same thing, he's kicked on offensively in a manner I've never heard anyone speak about Iggy in the same manner. I've never seen him even carry a team offensively. Because we could talk about, would he have won the finals MVP in 2019 again, if Clay and KD don't go out. But on the route there, he was moving crazy. And I've never seen Iggy move like that. Never heard about him move like that. As far as I know, Iggy was a really, really good like point forward, that kind of type of player. Really intelligent, super athletic. Like he was doing bits. So don't get me wrong, he was a really, really good player.
And also, people talk about him as a leader, but he was a leader. I don't get. I heard a recent story about. I think did he go 2-0 down to the Bucks?
Yeah.
The Raptors in that.
Oh yeah.
They went 2-0 down, and I forgot the name of the coach, but he's saying, "Oh, what adjustments are we gonna make?" I
remember that story.
Yeah. I'm on Giannis.
That's it. That's it. Walked out.
That's it.
That's it.
They're having a team meeting, The team meeting walked in and said, "Oh, look, we're 2-0 down." I think they
Nick Nurse was the coach.
And Bucks had home court.
Yeah.
And then they're 2-0 down. They walked in and said, "Oh, right, the guys, look, we're 2-0 down. We need to make some adjustments." He said, "The adjustment is I've got Giannis."
That was it.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
That's it, done.
Yeah.
And I think with Kawhi, it's just that, like, even some of the way people talk about him, they're like, nah, they put Kawhi in that same, maybe not talent-wise, but in terms of mentality, he says he's
like Kobe.
He's like Kobe. He's like that. Like he's like.
I watched another thing about Kawhi, and they said, "Oh, the coach, I've forgotten the coach." But basically, it's when he first went to Raptors.
Yeah.
They went down to San Diego to train with him. And he said, "Listen, coach, I like my dreams quiet. I like to come in, get my work done, and keep it moving." Like he said, he went and linked up with Kobe because he wanted to perfect his post game. He said he knows what he needs to bring to the team to get them further, and that's what he's going to go and work on the whole summer. That's what he did.
Kobe was recently retired, then, isn't it? Yeah. That's one thing about Kobe. Even before he retired, he always had time for people that were serious. That's why he couldn't fuck with them, all them new Lakers men, them Nick Young and them men. He couldn't fuck with them. He
Swish Parker and them man there.
He couldn't
Swish Parker.
They're about party boys.
Bro.
But guys like Giannis, JT, Kawhi, them man there, he spent all the time in the world with them because he knew they were on it.
You're gonna laugh for it. Gordon Hayward is like
Booker as well. Sorry, Booker's another one.
Gordon Hayward, he was on podcast recently. He was talking about
the 60-point game.
Not even. He was talking about when I don't know if he was still at the Celtics or he was still at Utah. Basically, they obviously hung out. He said, "Okay, let's work out together." He goes, "Yeah, meet me at certain time for like, what was it, 7:30? 7:30 in the morning."
That's late for him.
Oh no, yeah. I know the story. Go on.
Yeah. And then Gordon Hayward rocks up, gets it like a little early, like has a breakfast.
Oh, I know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and they basically
Kobe's already done a workout. He's already finished. What he's done.
No, like he's not there. Like no, it's not even that. So he's not there when he arrives. So Hayward gets there early, gets there, and then they're waiting around for a bit. So it comes across like Kobe's late, right? Kobe he comes to the gym. Obviously, Hayward's already in there. Kobe hasn't, but not even done a thing, not even said hello, nothing. Obviously, it's just them. It's not like a whole group of players. They just start working out proper for like an hour straight. As soon as they're done, out. Nobody talking nothing. Next day, he's like, "Okay, cool. You don't want to work out?" This time, 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, the next day, Kobe's there earlier than him. And he's worked. So he basically did that just to check, to test him.
Yeah.
How are you going to work? And are you going to like get prissy about it? Because obviously, Kobe usually comes earlier than everyone else. And he would test people out. And like everyone speaks to him being like a great teacher in that regard, like whether he's active or not.
Even you watched that Team USA documentary on Netflix recently about how in the Olympics, how Kobe was going to the gym at like 4, 5 in the morning. They remember partying, and then eventually Ron was like, "You know what? Let me go to the gym." D-Wade was like, "Let me go to the gym." The only one was like, "Nah, fuck that." Was Melo. But that kind of attitude, it trickles down.
Yeah,
it does. Before we wrap it up today, obviously, All-Star Weekend is in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yes.
What are we thinking about All-Star votes? I know we spoke on the guards already.
Yeah.
Kind of front court.
We'll see. You know what? I'm still not too sure who's going to get what. I will see, but obviously there's going to be like the usual.
We know, guys.
I think a good topic is going to be who are going to be like the first time All Stars. That's what I'm more interested in because obviously there's always the usual suspects.
Do you know what I think would be a good topic? Who doesn't make it?
That'll be interesting as well.
Yeah, we've already spoken on one of them already.
What, JB?
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of guys ahead of him. I mean, as long as one Knicks player makes it, because Randall probably looks more of a lock than Brunson at the moment. And like the last 80 to 20 games, Randall has been one of the best. He's easily top 3, top 4 power forwards in the game right now. Easy.
So I want to ask you, like, see, like, some random names, like, what's his name? Vucevic. Does he deserve a shout at All Star?
To be honest with you, I haven't watched the Chicago as I used to.
Right, so what?
Shout out
front court coming out of the East.
I think Vucevic has got a good shot.
If you look at the front court coming out of the East, obviously you got Tatum, Embiid. Wait, what should be for Tatum, bro?
Tatum's making it.
It should be for Tatum, bro.
But he's not it.
We'll see.
What does that mean?
No, bro, because people talk about Tatum like,
and then there's what people are saying. So like, what's the distinction
about Tatum? Like he's Steph Curry.
He's gone to finals.
They talk about him like he's Kobe. They talk about him like he is the guy that's gonna take you. Like he is that guy. He's not. I know he's gone to finals. You're right. What's happened?
Yeah, he's running into better teams. I think now they're better equipped. I think this year they're definitely one of the favourites this year.
You think they're gonna win?
They're in my top three picks.
If Porzingis stays healthy,
my top 3 picks.
Yeah, for me, they might come out of the East.
Celtics come out of the East?
If Porzingis stays healthy, yes. If Porzingis stays healthy, 100%.
To be honest, I still have the Bucks, but I think they can come out of the East.
Yeah, like for me, like there's not a difference. There's not a big difference.
I wouldn't be shocked
because for me, like what Porzingis does for him,
I think Philly beat them.
I think you're underrating Porzingis, and this is not because he's like the best center in the East or anything like that. I think just the player that he is, the way he's going to open up the floor for Jaylen Brown, for Jason Tatum is going to be crazy, bro.
For JT to miss shots. I hear you. I've been watching Celtics games, bro. Yeah. I watched the Celtics game and JT went the whole fourth and overtime with 2 points from the free throw line. That is it.
Wait, who's that against?
Golden State, but it doesn't matter.
It's just a one game.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. My point is,
do you feel like he doesn't have the dog in him?
I don't know. He's definitely got a dog in him.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's it, bro. I just don't think he's it.
Because it's weird. Because his game reminds you a lot of like Paul. Like he's got Paul George's game. Like,
yeah, Paul George. Paul George is not it.
No, but like
what are we doing here?
No, but when you say it, like for me, that it's
it is LeBron James.
No. It is. Is he capable
Steph
of
Curry.
winning?
That's
or
it.
Winners. Because you said because if your argument is okay, he got to the front, what has he done? The only thing he didn't do is win. So the follow-up question is, why didn't he win? It can't just be he's not him. Because up until...
Because he's not him.
Because LeBron weren't winning up until he got to Jason Tatum's age.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan wasn't him up until he got to Jason Tatum's age.
It's narrative.
No.
I hate this narrative.
Okay.
I hear you. I hear it.
So for
because the numbers are there that will tell you you don't win until you're like 27.
I'm not debating...
26, 27 and above.
You know what it is? I'm not saying that he is him. I'm trying to define what him is, like what makes him is, and I don't want it to just be basically who's him that doesn't have a ring, and then let's compare him with Jason Tatum. And why do you see those players as being him and Jason
who's
Tatum
him that doesn't have a ring?
Currently, yeah.
That's a tough question.
So now we start making the distinctions between why a talent like Jason Tatum isn't him, and why a Tatum like whoever played.
I guarantee you, anyone you say JT's got accolades above them at this moment.
I can't argue that. I can't argue that.
There we go.
I can't argue that.
But you can't argue, but you can research and come back to us.
No.
Let's not this argument.
I'm not even if I'm thinking about it. What you say is right. Accolades wise, because you're going to start telling me about all NBA first teams, all star vote. Yeah, cool. JT he's got that in abundance amongst his peers. But like, all right, but he's got a ring though. Because I don't even think. All right, Jamal Murray. Like I think I said this in the group. If you swap Jamal Murray and JT, they have identical careers. But in the sense that JT would only have a ring because he has Jokic.
But will Jamal Murray have all them first team?
I think in the East, of course he will. I think if you swap them to a round,
I think no, I don't think.
But then again, all NBA isn't just the East
East
West thing, though, is it?
But was JT all NBA first team?
He's multiple times.
Yeah.
All NBA.
Listen, bro.
At what position? Small forward.
He's all NBA.
He's always.
Oh, I mean,
He's a 40.
Two times. Yeah, two times.
What years?
2022, 2023.
So the years ago.
His first team.
Yeah, first team.
All NBA. I can't. Jason, that's horrible.
So Jason Tatum,
First
man.
team in 2020.
Ugh.
So yeah,
First team.
Listen,
Front court.
you're
first
not
team.
respecting
And the
Nah,
thing
you're not
is,
respecting him.
he's
He's not it,
25. He's 25.
No, he's
You're not
it.
respecting him.
He's
Man.
25.
Man, someone had to be injured. Kawhi or someone was injured, bro. Someone had to be injured for that to happen.
Because I'm
Come on,
thinking,
man.
like, all right,
2
so
years in a row.
like
Respect
last year,
him,
who
man.
knocked him out last year?
I want to say that.
But then it's also like, for me, we know Ime was like a good coach, and like he had them looking better than. I think it's only now when they got Porzingis in, obviously Drew
Yeah.
Holiday, to obviously because Drew Holiday for me is better than Marcus Smart, so it's at least on paper like that starting five has gotten better than they were last year. I don't know if the coaches is good. We'll see what they'll do. But I understood why they didn't win last year, and for me that's the only thing. The only two things that Jason Tatum's got to have is an MVP, and for the last 2 to 3 years, he's been in and around that conversation at least for the last couple. He's
What
been
conversation?
as in like
MVP.
as an MVP prospect.
In an early season, he's always up there, but then he goes off towards the end.
Yeah.
He wasn't up. He hasn't been up there this season.
Early season, he was
When?
like talking like first
What?
month or so.
First three
Well,
games.
first couple months.
He's like
first couple months.
he's averaging 27, 9, and 5. Like
That's not good enough now.
come on. And I think it's a thing of
27, 9, and 5. And where Boston in the East?
First or second.
First or second.
It's the Easter, isn't it?
Oh,
No. That's not, at this point, I can't lie to you.
What's up, man?
I can't lie to you. At this point,
Do you know what
I see more potential champions out of the East than the
Do you know
West.
do you know what's so mad, yeah? All right. The thing is, I look at JT and I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm also salty because I've got him on a fantasy team and he's not doing the. Like, I passed up Joel Embiid for JT and he is not doing the business.
Okay.
He is not doing it.
It's all coming out now.
That's just going
But
out there.
but forget the fantasy thing for a moment though. Like, maybe it's because I'm really harsh on the Celtics as well because I haven't liked the Celtics for a long time. And you don't know this.
Brad Stevens.
I hate Brad Stevens.
Team of the year.
Anyway,
Go on.
but yeah, like it's just mad because I look at JT and I guess it's my expectations. Like he doesn't give me that. Like this is gonna sound mad. Jar gives me this guy has got it.
Fair
He
enough.
gives me that he's got it factor. He gives me that you put him somewhere with somebody. You put Jar somewhere with another 1B
Yeah.
caliber player and give him a squad around him. He is that guy that can
I have
say
a question.
yes.
I have a question for
JT
you.
doesn't have that for me.
What year was that? That 2021 when 2022 when Golden State won
Yeah, 22.
22.
We beat Celtics.
Okay.
Celtics should were favorites.
Obviously, like this is a very broad question because now you're talking about okay, is the teams make up the same? If it's Steph versus Ja, is it okay? Again, you're talking about age, and
if it's Steph versus Ja puts up more of a fight than JT does.
Boy.
Ja puts up more of a fight than JT does in that situation.
do you think that's just more play style as opposed to what he actually does though?
Ja
Because
puts,
Jason Tatum isn't. I think because he doesn't play aggressive. Like he sometimes doesn't get the respect that he should get. Like he's too. Sometimes it's like he's too smooth.
Roy, sometimes you need to be aggressive.
No, I agree.
You need like, and maybe that's part of what it is.
He wants to, his hair looks too good.
You
Am I lying? Like he's gonna mess up his hair. You know,
You need
the
to.
Euro step.
You need to. Right, I'm gonna go and take over this fourth quarter, and we are winning this game.
Well, like when he put up 51 points in the game 7.
Did he win?
In a game 7, they won that game. Yeah, that game they won.
What against that was the East.
last season. It was
Yeah.
against. I forgot who it was against, but yeah, they won that.
But because I think he's also put up 50-point games either in elimination games. I don't know if it was a game 6 or a game 7.
Mm.
He's also put up 50 points and not won.
Okay,
So
I won the game I was talking about.
okay, but
That's my point. Like, bro, like what are we talking about right now? We're talking about a guy who puts up 50. Why is the conversation around him? Because we don't consider Jason Tatum a ball hog. We don't consider him someone who is inefficient.
Or
So it's
stat
not
padder.
like it's not. We don't consider him a stat padder. Like
He just doesn't give me.
he's developed his game speaks for itself. At this point, do you know what? I think you just need one playoff series, and it's difficult because also Boston. There's not many teams you're going to look at Boston going into and be like Boston are the underdogs.
I need Jason Tatum to be in the game and listen. It's not going well.
Boston have essentially been a top 2, top 3 team since he's landed. You realize that, right?
That's great in the East. That's great, and I hear you in the East. But I need Jason Tatum to go into the. Bro, we talk all of this. We talk all of this. There's no way Bucks should have a chip over the Celtics right now with Jason Tatum and JB in that team, and they had Giannis and Middleton
And Holiday.
And Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. Bro, you're talking about a team like role players that know how to do their job,
Marcus
bro.
Smart, Al Horford. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here, bro? There's no way the Bucks should have it, but the Bucks have a chip because guess what? Giannis is it. When it gets down and dirty, I'm going to go and win this.
Injury players.
Isn't it? Take man out.
But obviously, it's like sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes it's just luck. It's like, does Kawhi get that second ring if the first and third best player don't get taken out?
Does Steph get that first ring if...
Sorry, wait, hold on. Yeah. Can you pause you right there?
Yeah.
Say that again?
The first and third most talented players on the team don't get taken out.
Yeah, you had to change that. Yeah? Because we were talking about first and third best. The best player on Golden State is Steph Curry. Yeah? Let's be real about this.
But that's my point. Like, I think it could be as simple as Jason Tatum was one injury away, as in the other team's main guy injury away from having a chip.
Okay.
But like that shouldn't be the definitive thing between like saying he's not that guy. Because I'll be real with you, we could have the same conversation about Steph.
Yeah,
in 2015, we could have the same conversation.
We could have done, guess what? We could have done until 2022 happened. Then all of that conversation is blown out of the water.
But we were giving him the flowers for 7 years prior to that.
Okay, because he had chips. Because he had the winners' medals. That's why we were giving him the flowers. Because he had
Jason Tatum is coming for you now.
Okay.
Jason Tatum is coming for you.
Tatum come from... I was going to say a really palsy thing there. But I was going to say... I almost, but I didn't.
I tried to throw the base.
But Tatum, show us. That's what I want.
That's
cool. All you need to do, Tatum, is show us. Because right now, I ain't seeing it.
Cool.
But
get some of these numbers, bro. Like,
yeah, bro. He's got numbers. I hear you. Russell Westbrook has numbers. He's got no chips either. Like, let's call it what it is.
Come back. No, listen. Just come back with that report. Yeah, I want you to have a list of who's him that doesn't have a ring.
But I don't think there is anybody who is him that doesn't have a ring right now. That's why Tatum isn't him.
Give me an example of players in the last 20 to 25 years that were him before they won a ring.
20, 25 years.
All right, our generation of basketball, before they won their first ring, who were like guys that you already knew were taking you there. Guys that you already like, they're going to win a ring. It's an if. It's not an if, it's a when.
I hear you. I'll come back to you.
Right.
I'll give you one of them though, right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was a guy that you could tell was going to be him. And he did it and he won a ring.
Nah, I remember the Aquaman conversation. Bro, you're fully throwing the bets with us, bro.
Yes.
Don't even do that, bro.
Yeah. No, but we were saying, listen, this guy, bro.
Why were we calling him Aquaman?
You're forgetting.
Why were we calling him Aquaman?
Aquaman is part of the Justice League, bro, you know?
Okay.
He's
but
a
why were we calling him
member
Aquaman and not Batman, not Superman, not them man? There's a reason why we're calling him Aquaman. Because we did not think he was him.
No. Aquaman is a part of the Justice League.
Now we're getting to some next conversations. Okay. We were calling him specifically because at that point, that series, we did not rate his thing.
He can only play water on land.
Well, we didn't rate his thing.
But hold on. But at least he had... We knew in water...
Is Jimmy Butler him?
Oh.
No.
On that note.
No, that's it.
All right.
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to that.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Catch you on the rebound.
Take it easy. Next tape, baby.
With the English Pod, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share us on all your social media platforms, and each and every week get the freshest brand new NBA podcasting right here with the guys from the UK with the English Pod.